Hello everyone, my name is Sidle Scout and welcome to the channel. Today I have a different sort of video from the tutorials I've been doing, and it's something I haven't seen yet. Maybe I missed it, but it's a review for those of us with ADHD to see whether or not you would like Satisfactory and whether or not it's worth your time. And yeah, let's get straight into it. I'm going to tell you the ending right up front. I think it's a great game for those of us with ADHD. I myself have that, and it captures my interest and has from the minute I started. And yeah, it's got a lot of really effective psychology to it, and it's not entirely a waste of time. A lot of people feel like they're wasting time when they're playing video games. But there's a lot of good things to it, a lot of good problem solving and math and brain work. But it's also fun. So I have a few points I wanted to go over. The top, first and foremost one is that this game gives instant feedback, which for those of you with ADHD, you know that is an extremely important thing, right? You're very motivated by rewards, and this game constantly gives you rewards. Everything from just creating a machine and seeing all the rewards pouring out of a conveyor belt to planning effectively so that a whole bunch of machines work seamlessly together and they don't get backed up, and you get rewarded for that planning and that time investment, and you get it instantly. You also get progression unlocks where you can build new things and play with new toys, and it's just constantly giving you feedback, and it's encouraging you to continue building and continue planning and continue making bigger and better things. The second point I wanted to mention is that it grabs your interest and it holds on like a vice, right? Because there's always something new to accomplish. As with the last point, because it's giving you constant rewards in terms of new things to build and new achievements to reach, and new milestones, all that sort of thing. There's always something new to do. And whenever you get bored of something or something gets a little bit monotonous, you can always just continue on and move to something else and come back when it's new and fresh again. There are frequently new recipes, enemies, shiny objects off on some distant peak. There's new resources and landscapes all over the place. There's just always something to do. So if you have a lot of time to sink, this game is perfect for that. 7 hours will pass before you even realize what happened. That being said, the game does hold your hand just a tiny little bit. It doesn't force you out of the game, but it does remind you every time you've been playing for 2 hours. It has a little pop-up in the game that kind of makes a joke of it, like, "Hey, fix it." Encourages their employees to take a break, things like that. They also make a joke out of it because Fixit's supposed to be an evil corporation kind of that doesn't really care about you, so they often will make a joke out of that kind of thing, like, "You have earned a micro break," and then they say, "Okay, micro break over." In any case, there's also always a different way in terms of grabbing your interest. There's always a different way to achieve a task. So every task you have has 20,000 different ways that you can accomplish that task, and different ways you can build it. You can build vertically and horizontally. You can build mega bases, modular. You can build machines that do all kinds of crazy things. You can build buildings anywhere you want. You can even build buildings for just your toys. Like I built a garage for my car. So there's always different things to do, but the level of monotony, it seems like it would be there in a game where you continually build similar machines with conveyor belts and trains and things like that. But the level of monotony is up to you, right? You can be monotonous with the game, but you don't have to be, right? So for me, the monotony is never there because I have one of those little side danger for those of us that have ADHD. I like to tear everything down and start again because I dreamt up a new idea or a new way to do it or a more efficient way or effective way, or everything wasn't in a straight line and I need everything to be in a straight line. So I have this really, really bad habit of tearing down entire huge, semi-mega factories and starting from scratch. I'm more than 100 hours into the game and I've torn down my main base 4 times probably. Moving on to the next point. In this game, and all of these kind of feed into each other and they kind of overlap a bit, but distractions are rewarded, right? So a typical gaming session for me might be I'm creating components and I build a machine, but then I get a little bored building the components, so I go explore, right? And then I wander around and I find new places and waterfalls and trees and mountaintops, and I kill new enemies and find secrets hidden all over. And then I get tired of exploring, so I return to base and I have a whole bunch of stuff in my inventory that I just got while exploring. And so I research new technologies at the MAM, and I empty my inventory of all my animal remains from when I killed all the bad guys out there. And those animal remains get turned into coupons at the Fix-It shop, and I instantly have new buildings to build and new plans to build with. So then I buy the new buildables with the coupons and I get excited to use it in an old build, or I plan a new build and then I re-engineer an old build with the new buildables in mind. And then I get tired of doing production math for the new build and then I decorate the building, or I go back and I decorate an old building. And then the new build is done and I've unlocked the next tier in the game in the progression game. And now I need to plan an expanded power grid for the next tier that I need to unlock. So then I go explore some more and I go try to find a new power plant location, or I need to expand the old one. And expanding the old one now, there's not enough room, and so I need to move everything to a whole new location. It's a big cycle, and then you repeat, right? So distractions are heavily rewarded. I get distracted constantly. I get bored with one part, and I go do something else, and then the part before is new again, and I go back. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. The game does not punish you for stopping a task and going to do something else. As much as Ada, which is your AI assistant voice that's constantly with you in the game, she always tells you to stay on task and that we reward efficiency and blah, 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 but they actually don't punish it in the game. So the next point I wanted to mention was that this is kind of a controversial one with other people that I've spoken to, but I think it's a good thing. It's a largely single player game, and what I mean by that, I mean, you can play multiplayer, but at its core, it's you in your world building stuff. A lot of people have solo playthroughs going on. And the point that I wanted to make with it being largely single player is that you don't get that fear of missing out, right? This is a big problem for those of us with ADHD. We have a fear of missing out in online games, right? Back in the day when I used to play World of Warcraft and Elder Scrolls Online and all kinds of other different games, I used to not want to get off because I would fall behind and I would miss out on things. And there was always some new raid or event going on that I wanted to be a part of. And now that, I'm grown up and I have kids and I have a wife and have all that sort of stuff, I can't do that. I can't spend all my time on the computer. I need to be able to stop, save, and leave. So this game it has zero problem with you stopping right where you are and you pick up right where you left off. Nothing happens while you're out and you don't miss out on things or anything. So this is also good for those. One of the other big problems with ADHD is time blindness and struggle to manage time properly. So this just allows you to stop. As long as you have a little bit of willpower, you can just click exit. And what I always do is I shut down my computer. I shut down my computer, and then it dampens the urge for me to just hop back on in 5 minutes. So in any case, there is one last part that I wanted to say, and that is that this is a long game. so there's two things with this. Number one, it's well worth the money to buy it, right? You are not going to be wasting your money. You're going to get your time's worth out of it. And it has nearly infinite replayability. Even though the world doesn't change, you have different starts you can do. You have different ways you can accomplish tasks. There's always some new angle that you can go at with it. But the other part about it being a long game is hyperfocus is a definite, it's both a detriment to those of us with ADHD, but it's also a benefit to those of us with ADHD, right? We can hyperfocus on something that gives good dopamine feedback, right? So this being a long game, it's difficult for you to hyper focus and then finish it in like 3 days. That's a problem I've had with games in the past, is when they're too easy to finish, I will get really, really invested, and then in like 3 or 4 days, it's all done. It's over. And then there's nothing. There's nothing left. And the replayability is not there. You don't want to go back and replay it or try something new because it's fairly linear and all that kind of thing. So this game does not have that, right? It's a long game. There's lots of different angles. There's many different ways to play. And so you can both replay it, and even just one playthrough is going to last you at least a month, for most people. So in any case, those are my big points about why this is a great game for those of us with ADHD. I've struggled with ADHD my entire life, and sometimes with gaming, it can be a help, and sometimes it is not a help. And like I said, there are certain games that are very conducive to that sort of brain chemistry. And this game is definitely, I almost wonder if some of the devs have ADHD, right? It's that focused. So it's a great game. If you haven't tried it yet, go ahead and pick it up. If you have tried it, then just continue with me on my journey here on this channel as I do different videos and tutorials and let's plays and all kinds of different things. And if you like this sort of video specifically about ADHD type stuff and struggles and solutions and all kinds of things, just go ahead and leave a comment below. Other than that, if you have a moment to hit like and subscribe, I greatly appreciate it. It really helps. And that is all I have for now. My name is Sidle Scout, and I will see you next time.